Of the various superpowered teams and systems in the DC universe, the Lanterns are just about the most expansive and encompassing as you can imagine. Between the most well-known groups such as the Green Lantern Corps to the more obscure Ultraviolet faction, every single corner of the DC universe has some form of lantern within it. So with this in mind, I'm Dan from What Culture, and here's what happened to all of the Lantern Corps. Number 11. Green Lantern Corps. The Green Lanterns have always been, and always will be, the most important faction in the various Lantern Corps. Not only are they considered one of the most powerful corps, but they are also the faction who exist as a sort of intergalactic police force, and have prevented the universe from total destruction on more than one occasion. If there's one thing that's consistent in regards to what is happening with the Green Lanterns, it's that it's always life-threatening, always intense, and always proves the worth of the universe's super cops. Number 10. Orange Lantern Corps. One of the oldest existing Lantern Corps outside of the Green Lanterns, whose powers revolve around greed and avarice, are initially revealed through stories of a great war between the Guardians and the Keeper of the Orange Light, held millennia ago. The war concluded by allowing the Keeper, known as Loflees, leader of the Orange Lanterns, to keep his territory without Green Lantern interference, so long as the Orange Light and the battery that powered it was kept concealed underground. When the battery was almost stolen, the Orange Lanterns came back out of hiding. After a further war with the Orange Lanterns, the Guardians converge on the Orange Light, ready to destroy it once and for all. This fails, showing us the insane power levels the Orange Light contains, and setting up the fight between the Blue and Orange Lanterns that starts Blackest Night. Number 9. Sinestro Corps. Led by former Green Lantern, Sinestro, the Yellow Lanterns are powered by fear. Sinestro would expand his corps by inviting those capable of generating mass fear into his team, extending it into a legitimate threat against the Green Lanterns. While there would be many challenges to the villain's leadership, these attempts would eventually all fail, leaving Sinestro in charge once more. In a weird way, this is likely for the best, as Sinestro was willing to put aside his hatred of the Green Lanterns during Blackest Night to take down Nekron, proving that the Sinestro Corps aren't always entirely evil. Number 8. Red Lantern Corps. Because the Red Lantern's history is essentially a history of their involvement in various wars, these Lanterns fight in the War of Light, in Blackest Night and Brightest Day, and generally exist to provide a further issue to the struggling heroes. Even their leader, Atrocitus, the only Red Lantern who isn't made mindless by the ring, is almost entirely motivated by his rage, with the exception of his eventual acceptance that the Red Lanterns will have to join forces with the other corps in order to defeat Nekron, who threatens their communal existence. While Guy Gardner takes leadership over Atrocitus for a short while, DC Rebirth has placed the Red Menace back in his true role. And with how interesting his Red Dawn plan was, this is arguably the best place for him. Number 7. Blue Lantern Corps. Perhaps the most genuinely heroic of the Lantern Corps, the Blue Lanterns represent the emotion of hope, and exist to assist the other corps in their efforts to protect the universe. This corps was originally created when two Guardians were banished for their emotional and empathetic natures, prompting them to create the Blue Lantern Ring and form this new faction of the corps. Currently, the Blue Lantern faction stands as a less than colossal one, but given that one of the last Blue Lanterns is essentially a space Jesus, one member will likely more often than not be enough for most conflicts. Number 6. The Ultraviolet Corps. The Ultraviolet Lanterns are the most enigmatic of the Lantern Corps thus far. We know the Corps is led by a sentient son named Umbrax, and we know that they have domain over the invisible emotion spectrum. Our experience of the secretive Corps, however, is unashamedly badass, with Jon Stewart being mind-controlled by Umbrax to try and take down the entire Justice League. While this attempt fails, it does let us know our final tasty fact about the Ultraviolet Lanterns, as we learned from this encounter that Umbrax actually controls the minds of those who take the Ultraviolet Ring, meaning the Corps are essentially a way to expand Umbrax's powers. Number 5. Indigo Tribe. The Indigo Tribe has one of the weirder origins, as this faction was created by Abin Sur after he joined forces with the indigenous people of Nock to free them from their captors. Abin Sur remains behind after that war, and with the help of Nostromo, one of the natives, forms the first Indigo Ring. The tribe itself was initially comprised of the worst serial killers and monsters in the universe, but given a greater sense of compassion due to the powers of the ring itself. While the vast majority were taken out by a Sinestro-hired Lobo, the leader of the faction did manage to escape, meaning there's still a chance for the tribe to grow again. Number 4. Star Sapphire Corps. The Star Sapphire Corps initially existed as a weird kind of club of jilted women, with sapphire rings being initially created to allow these women revenge on the object of their affections. This proves to be exactly as weird as you would imagine it to be, and means the Star Sapphire Corps tend to act via their own motivations, instead of for any overarching purpose. This said, it's made unclear whether the faction still even exists, as during the events of Blackest Night, their main power supply is blown up, and the Green Lanterns leave the scene without any idea as to whether the love-based Corps survive, and the only sign suggesting they remain is Carol Ferris's sapphire powers still being functional. Number 3. The Alpha Lantern Corps. The Alpha Lanterns are one of the most unconventional echelons of the Green Lantern Corps, in that they're essentially Green Lantern Corps members who have been promoted to a position where they also police the Green Lanterns themselves. That's what they're intended to be, until Cyborg Superman takes on the Alpha Lantern position for his own means, transforming rookie Green Lanterns into Cyborg Alpha Lanterns in order to have practice bodies for Ganthet to try and turn human again. This plan eventually fails, with the Alpha Lantern destroying Cyborg Superman's mind and allowing the other members to regain full control of themselves, but the status of the role is not quite the same as it used to be. However, with the faction being once again led by the Guardians of the Universe, the Alpha Lanterns are once again an entirely good faction of the collective cause. Number 2. Black Lantern Corps. The Black Lantern rings are given to powerful beings who die by Necron, DC's physical embodiment of death, and symbolise the physical and emotional absence of life within these individuals. Those wearing the rings are possessed with the desire to take the hearts of those who would be most emotional about their return to life, in order to generate power to bring Necron from the land of the unliving into their universe. As the faction of the Corps wishes to extinguish life itself, it should come as no surprise that the Black Lanterns have come into conflict with the various other Corps many times. The most pronounced of these occasions come in Blackest Night, wherein Necron makes good on the plan he's been making since the Sinestro War to claim a Guardian for his own, and raises up the likes of Batman, Wonder Woman and Superman to be Black Lanterns. While Necron's physical body is destroyed, he merely then inhabits the closest Black Lantern, showing that even when you beat them, the Black Lantern Corps can never be destroyed. Number 1. White Lantern Corps. The White Lantern Corps, despite quite literally being the embodiment of life, are surprisingly less heroic than you might expect. They're led by Entity, the physical embodiment of life, who joins with Sinestro to defeat Necron and the Black Lanterns in Blackest Night. In the aftermath of this, Entity resurrects Aquaman, Firestorm, Martian Manhunter and Hawkman, just to kill them again, after they've overcome whatever held them back in life and powered up the White Lantern ring a little more. It's a practical move, sure, but one that's clearly made to show that the White Lanterns aren't the embodiment of good, they're just the embodiment of life. Currently, Deadman is the only character to possess a White Lantern ring, but technically, anyone who's ever been made to be one of the Corps still is, and may be summoned as such should Entity need to assemble another crew. And that's our list. Know of any other cool tidbits about the Lantern Corps? Let us know in the comment section below. You can follow me on Twitter @DanJDurkin, and after that head on over to whatculture.com for more lists and articles like this every single day. For now though, I've been Dan, and I'll catch you in the next one.